Looking at you, my brother, and I say this affectionately, you might be one of the dumbest folks on the planet Earth.
Imagine being a 57-year-old retired NFL superstar worth millions of dollars, has 2 daughters and a son, works for ESPN, and you throw away your whole reputation because you wanted to go mess around with an OF model that is 30 years younger than you, bro.
Trickling out.
Do I believe that Shannon Sharpe is guilty of what he has been accused of? Absolutely not. That is my personal opinion. The brother that I've come to know, I don't believe would assault or rape anybody. And I'm going to state that emphatically. But just as emphatically, I'm going to remind everybody it is my opinion because of what I feel about him. Not in any way implying that I know it.
Who have been following Shannon's decline are aware that he went from being a cherished UNC icon to becoming one of the most popular jokes on the internet, all because of a series of clumsy lawsuits that made headlines. However, most people are unaware of this. According to reports, Shannon was left completely bankrupt and in debt after resolving that recent lawsuit with model Gabrielle Zuniga. You may be sure that Stephen A. Smith immediately recognized that. He also didn't hold back at all. He went on TV and attacked Shannon for allowing himself to get into this mess. For a whole 20 minutes, fans were able to see right through his attempt to inject some I got his back energy. The entire time, the man's sneer was hardly concealed. It almost seemed like Stephen A. was quietly relishing Shannon's financial collapse and his name collapsing in the industry.
ESPN and Disney have a wait-and-see attitude when it comes to whatever evidence they may learn about this entire situation involving Shannon Sharpe from a legal and from a civil perspective. What they didn't need as it pertains to those two things that I just mentioned, they didn't need any definitive evidence at this particular moment in time about all of that stuff. Once all the things Shannon Sharpe's lawyer put out there, it was uncomfortable to listen to, and it was not something that Walt Disney once associated with its brand. So to have him on the airwaves while all of that stuff was put out there was not something that Disney was going to take. That is what I mean when I say.
Here's the actual twist, though. After the explosive Cat Williams interview on Club Shay Shah, which went viral on YouTube and put the podcast at the top of the charts, Shannon could not have predicted this storm just months ago. Sports stores were booming in April 2025. Shannon Sharpe was reportedly breaking all athletic media records by landing a whopping $100 million deal for his podcast. Before things fell apart, Shannon was essentially sitting on the throne of sports media thanks to his ESPN paychecks and various side gigs at that point. Model Gabrielle Zuniga's explosive lawsuit struck like a ton of bricks. Here's the worst part, though. It seems that Stephen A. Smith was aware of this matter long before it was made public. Therefore, he wasn't merely being petty for laughs when he made those slick, dubious remarks about Shannon on air. He was speaking from personal experience. Furthermore, it was evident from the facts that Shannon's time at ESPN was running out. The biggest surprise, though, was when Gabby made a claim for $50 million. He essentially dismissed Shannon's response, referring to it as a money shakedown. He even retaliated by threatening to sue Gabby and her lawyer, Tony Busby, for defamation and extortion before the entire thing turned on its head.
Story flipped.
To my family, friends, supporters, and colleagues, I want to speak to you directly and from the heart. This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. And you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup, coordinated by Gabby, also known as Carly on OnlyFans. Gabby and Tony Busby want $50 million. What they're getting is sued for defamation and trying to take me down. My career is all about real talk and honesty. I know my family and fans.
Shannon was fearless and unflinching in that point. The situation took a turn for the worse when the unsettling audio that had been leaked online between Shannon and Gabrielle was released. When the leaked clips appeared on the timeline, the internet went crazy, and it's easy to understand why. You can definitely hear Shannon threatening Gabrielle in the first audio clip, and it sounded really deadly. Gabby's tone then changes in the second clip. Her voice is filled with fear, as if she really thinks Shannon could harm her after those tapes became popular.
What does that even mean?
Nothing, Gabby. You want to be with me now, so.
I don't want to be. Don't manipulate me.
Oh, Lord have mercy. If you say that one more time, I'm going to choke the shit out of you when I see you.
Interested in getting choked, so I guess we're going.
Stephen A. Smith felt he could no longer remain silent and entered. Everyone is aware of Stephen and Shannon's past now. He had been close friends and co-workers with Stephen for years, and it was Stephen who helped him get the Fox job. That's precisely why people thought Stephen would support Shannon, or at the very least, maintain objectivity until the matter was resolved by the court. However, Stephen surprised the entire internet by publicly stating that Shannon might not be as innocent as everyone thought. He didn't.
As people wanted to believe.
It's important to point out a couple of things. Number one, I was not there. I can provide no eyewitness account. And even though I got love and respect for Shannon Sharpe, and I'm sincerely hopeful and prayerful that he is completely innocent of the allegations that have been levied against him, I can't sit here and speak to his innocence or guilt from a knowledgeable place because I have nothing to do with this. I haven't seen anything. I don't know anything. I don't even know this person. I know what the reports say. I know the reports, the things that have been reported on a multitude of outlets, from the AP to the New York Post to Forbes to TMZ and everything in between. I mean, I can't even count the number of publications that have talked about it or written about it, networks, etc.
Stop there, either. Stephen chastised Shannon for engaging in careless actions that have the potential to ruin anyone's career. The actual sting then arrived. You'd never catch me playing the kind of silly games Shannon's known for, boasted Stephen. Although he didn't mention names, admirers quickly made the connection and realized that he was referring directly to Shannon's history of highly visible liaisons with younger white women. And believe me, that doesn't even begin to describe what was happening. This is where the true drama unfolded. Reports that Shannon had discreetly consented to an out-of-court settlement of Gabby's lawsuit stunned fans. This comes after he publicly vowed for months that he would never pay her a cent. According to insiders, the payoff might have been perilously near to the $50 million Gabby first wanted. But the official figures were never made public. Shannon took a severe blow to his wallet, in addition to having to pay tens of millions. His powerful attorney's astronomical legal bills only made matters worse. Then followed the unexpected turn of events. Gabby appeared and declared her retirement from AF. She remained silent about the lawsuit after that settlement, nothing concerning closure, a healing process, or other purported victims. Even though she owes no one an explanation, many people couldn't help but comment on the timing, assuming she was only looking for a big payout and got it. The conversation was further stoked by her declaration that she was genuinely looking forward to her next phase. People began to wonder if she had set Shannon up right away. If not, how strong was the proof that Shannon had gone from threatening to sue her to covertly sending her a huge check in any case? This was just the beginning of a downhill spiral that appeared unstoppable for Shannon. When ancient ghosts of Shannon's past began to surface, things escalated from bad to disastrous. Additionally, they presented a very unflattering image of the man in charge of the cameras. As it seems, Gabrielle Zuniga wasn't the first to accuse Shannon of acting inappropriately. An entire decade's worth of charges were made in a lawsuit brought years ago by his ex-girlfriend Michelle Evans. Michelle has returned, claiming slander against Shannon this time and requesting an outrageous $16 million. She's keeping receipts that could permanently end his life, which is a true kicker from what's being spoken. Evidence like that could make him actually write that check. His financial difficulties will worsen to the point of complete drowning if that occurs. This is when things get wild. That guy, the one everyone cheered for, was Shannon. Fans no longer want to see him on film at all. Once a favorite of the sports media, he is now viewed as scary by a large portion of the populace. The saddest part is that many people told him that if he didn't change his ways, this day would arrive. Fans are mocking him for disregarding all of the advice he received, as old clips from his Club Shannon interviews have started to circulate again. People are particularly enraged by one, the IRL clip. Shannon was sternly warned by comedian Monique, who was seated across from him, not to pursue women who were young enough to become his daughters. Shannon dismissed it as if it didn't exist. With a direct gaze, Monique cautioned Shannon, "Keep moving the way you're moving and it's going to be your downfall." She was absolutely correct. However, the other video that is now trending may be even more offensive if you thought that was awful. It comes from the now famous interview with Cat Williams. Additionally, Cat had no filter, whereas Monique tried. To be subtle, he bluntly told Shannon that his level of fame, fortune, or popularity was irrelevant. He would be destroyed like King the Conqueror if he didn't straighten out his act. The moment is constantly being replayed by fans, who claim it was the most significant event in Shannon's career. It's crazy that these old clips are coming back at the same time, as Shannon's finances are collapsing and fans are certain that the controversies that have accumulated over the past few years have
been gold diggers. He told his own children, that he should be the last option that they are able to call whenever they need help. He didn't even want to pay for his own, I believe it was his daughter's wedding. He was a willing participant. He was a willing participant in every single thing that he did, and I don't feel sorry for him. The universe sent him signs. Cat Williams tried to warn him. He said it takes 2 weekends. Monique tried to warn him that him now, at the age of 57, shouldn't be messing with a girl that is, 36 years younger than him? And he didn't listen. And he kept it going. And now he has lost his entire football career, basically because him and that girl had to settle for $23 million. His whole football career, he only made 22. So she got his entire Hall of Fame football career within, plus $1 million.
Here's the precise cause. Because of it, one TikTok creator even became viral. If you had listened to Kat and Monique, you could have prevented all of this, even if the comment sections were full with reminders. The next blow arrives just when you think the drama has reached its peak. The pink slip that ESPN is giving Shannon. His largest salary was undoubtedly from his hosting position on First Take. However, the executives decided it was time to sever relations in private, after learning that he had agreed to that enormous amount. One of their most well-known stars left quietly, without a press conference or farewell party. Just a clinical, impersonal email that said, "We have to part ways moving forward." No declarations, no tangled back and forth, no public battling insiders. Say Shannon was shattered by the moment. This was not another job loss for a man. This was the clearest indication that Shannon Sharpe's reputation in the sports media had been totally destroyed. The financial situation only became worse with his reputation in ruins. Rumor has it that his bank accounts are severely underfunded. The humiliation didn't end there. His merchandise line has been postponed indefinitely, sponsors have vanished, and his podcast numbers have plummeted. There are rumors that he is even selling off some of his real estate holdings, such as the Atlanta home he used to flaunt on Instagram. Shannon appears to be throwing everything at the wall right now in an attempt to see what sticks. After fans began making connections, another blow was delivered. He was unfollowed on Instagram by Stephen A. Smith. The internet suddenly went crazy since it's now obvious that this isn't just a Shannon issue, according to reports. Stephen A. isn't even returning his calls. To make matters worse, since that shocking Cat Williams interview, Club Shannon's YouTube statistics have been declining. Shannon is left chasing ghosts since the viral high has vanished and every new guest is simply compared to that high. This may be the biggest blunder in sports media history, One YouTube commenter put it succinctly. Here's the real kicker, though. Shannon eventually broke his silence in a nightcap video, and the internet lighted up. Instantaneously, you could hear it in his voice as he talked about his departure from ESPN in the video. The shame and the burden of knowing that everyone is watching him plummet from the top. The problem is that supporters didn't receive the sincere apology they were hoping for. Rather, Shannon sounded as though he was completely avoiding responsibility. It was quickly noticed by viewers, who poured harsh criticism into the comments. Shannon, dude, own up to your mistakes. Examine yourself in the mirror. Bag has no clear plan of action after being clowned by Stephen A., and that's the harsh reality. It was not necessary for Stephen to bury him.